Hello and welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. Today I wanted to share some books that I recently got secondhand. So all of the books that I'm about to show you I either got at a book swap or I got at a charity shop. And there is a range of different genres in here and authors, so I'm really excited to share these with you. So the first book that I'm going to show you was 50p in charity shop, and to be honest I just wanted to reread it because I haven't read it since school and I kind of wanted to read it as a novel in itself rather than analysing every little thing for my education, for my GCSEs. So that is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I remember, I think, the main plot points that are in this, but I don't really remember the writing style. I think I enjoyed it when I was younger, but it's hard to really appreciate a book when you're in school because obviously you're having to analyse it in a certain way and you can't really enjoy it for what it is. But if you didn't know, we are basically following two characters, George and Lenny, and it is set years and years ago, basically following them as they try to make a living for themselves, to try and earn money to get their own farm. So that's like their big dream between the two of them. Basically just following these two friends and how they're trying to get by and some unfortunate things that happen to them. Yeah, I'm just really excited to reread this and see what I think of it now. And then on that same day I picked up another book for 50p. This is from the charity shop where most of my clothes come from. It is just so cheap and it's always really well organised in there, and they had some really good books when I went in. So again, for 50p I got Running Like a Girl by Alexandra Hemingsley. At the moment I'm feeling kind of unmotivated to go running, which is such a shame because I was doing really well and then I had my injury. And since then I just haven't fully got back into the swing of things and I'm feeling really tired all the time. So I thought maybe this would give me like a little bit of a boost of motivation and make me feel a little bit more positive about going running. And it is literally about becoming motivated to go running. Essentially, Alexandra Hemingsley, oh, this is non-fiction by the way, she decided to run and the first attempt just didn't go very well. And then years later, she's run marathons, she's running all the time, she's really enjoying it. And it's basically how you run with your head as much as you do your legs. So running itself is a very mentally strong sport. You have to have that ambition and that drive to go running and then you enjoy it. If anyone is lucky enough to get up at 5 in the morning and straight away want to go for a run, then you are extremely lucky because I'm not like that. But I'm excited to start this. And it's quite a short read as well. I'm just hoping that it will give me that little boost of motivation and that drive to keep on running and go a little bit further with my distances that I do and push myself. So I think that will be really fun. I then got another non-fiction, and that is Sightlines by Kathleen Jamie, again from the same charity shop, 50p, just crazy. I don't think this has ever been read. It looks like it's in pristine condition. This author I personally haven't heard of before, but apparently they had a book called Findings and it broke the mould of nature writing. So this is a book about nature. As I say, it's non-fiction and it's basically giving us a different look at the living world and the things that are natural versus man-made. It looks like we're also going to follow some scientific things in here. For example, the pores of a whale's jawbone, the aurora borealis, killer whales. It just looked really interesting and like something I haven't read before, and it seems like it's going to be written in quite a poetic way, so I think it'll be a really fun and beautiful read, and it has got pictures throughout as well, so something I'd never heard of before and something I've never read before, but I do think I'm going to enjoy this quite a lot. I've been appreciating a lot of poetic and nature-focused writing recently, so I think this will be a good one for me to start on soon. Got two more books that I got from that charity shop, both again with 50p. So we've got the Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I've heard so much about this and honestly just never thought about picking it up until I saw it in the charity shop and thought, yeah, I'll give this a go now. I don't know too much about this, I just know that people love it and really enjoy it. So the synopsis is quite short. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It's simply there when yesterday it was not. And that is literally all I know. So I don't know if it's going to be fantasy or mystery. I didn't want to look it up. I want to go in with as little information as possible so I can really appreciate the book and its storytelling. But let me know down below if you've read this one. I'm sure many people have. And I'm just so excited that I found it so cheap. And then the next book, I haven't heard about this in particular, but I have heard about this author's writing. So this is The Last Tudor by Philippa Gregory. Also 50p for a hardback book is just crazy. Now, I didn't bring my phone with me when I went book shopping, when I went to the charity shop, so I couldn't look up whether this was part of the series, and it seems like it is, but it doesn't look like you have to read them in order. So it's kind of set in the same kind of time and era, and they follow each other in a certain order, but you don't have to read them in that order. It's just the order of history. But I'm not sure, so if you know the answer to whether I have to read this in a particular order, then let me know, and I'll know for next time. But I just thought it looked really interesting. We are basically following Elizabeth's royal cousin, Jane Grey, and she's faced with the choice of death or denying her faith after being forced onto the throne of England. And it just looks really interesting, like a lot of political and royal intrigue. And again, I don't know too much about it, but I just thought it looked really cool. And I don't read a lot of historical fiction, so I just want to give it a try and see how I get on. And then the next two books are both classics. I've read one of them already, but it's just a different edition of the one that I used to have. So I'll show you that one first. This was in a Facebook Marketplace book haul, so it was kind of like a bundle, and I wanted it for this big Chronicles of Narnia collection that I got, a hardback. So it was £5 for a whole load of books. I've donated a couple of them because I don't need them and I'm not going to read them, but I did decide to keep this. And that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've read this already, but it was the edition that had Michael Fassbender's face on the front of it. And I don't really like movie covers on my books generally, so I thought that this edition was a lot nicer and looked very vintage and classic. I may reread this one day. It was very eerie, the same way that something like Wuthering Heights is. And obviously we get a little love story in there as well, so I did enjoy reading it. It wasn't my favourite book ever, but I may reread it in like half a year or a year and see if I still like it. But it was part of the bundle, so I thought I may as well keep it. I already donated to that other edition because I hated the way it looked, so now I've got this, which is good. And then this one, I think I picked this up at work. We have like a little book swap in our staff room where you can bring books in and take books, which is really great. And I've never read this book before, but I've heard really great things, and obviously it is a classic. So it is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I've wanted to read this for a little while. I read Dracula by Bram Stoker before and I really enjoyed that. So I think it's time for me to get back into some classic horror, and I'm just really excited to finally get to this and give it a little read. It's very short, so I don't think it will take me very long to read, even though the writing is really rather small, but that's fine. And most of it is the introduction anyway. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to this soon. And that is it for my little book haul. I didn't buy too many. I probably shouldn't have got any of them, to be honest. If you've seen my birthday book haul, you'll know I have rather a lot of books to read. But I do find that when I'm not reading the A Song of Ice and Fire series, I do get through books quite quickly. It's just because those ones are so big, they take me such a long time. But I have now got in the habit of reading a couple books at once, so I'm getting through them really quickly. So hopefully it won't be too long until I can start on the books I've just shown you. As always, let me know down below if you read any of these books and what you thought of them, but no spoilers please. But that is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!